So Sparkle is getting a rerun in a matter of time, and you're debating on whether or not you should vote for her, right? Sparkle came out back at version 2.0, and since then we've had units like Renmei's rerun, Robin, Harmony Trailblazer. But should you actually pull for Sparkle in August 2024? Yeah, August 2024. Well, honestly, yes. I would say that she is still one of the best supports in the game. She is definitely up there with Renmei. In certain situations, either or could be better. Whether or not Renmei is better than Sparkle really depends. It's very situational. For example, if you're using a character like Firefly, who is very, very break effect oriented, so much to the point where she gets almost zero benefit from crit, you would want to use a character like Renmei, who is more break effect oriented, or someone like Harmony Trailblazer. But if you're using someone like Jinglu, who you don't really need break effect on her, then either or could work. But Renmei's rerun already passed, so if you're looking for that next insane support and you might have missed Renmei, you might have lost to 50-50, you missed on her banner, then Sparkle would definitely be a solid pickup here. I would 100% recommend her on any single person's account on unless you only use Firefly, which most people probably don't, right? Especially because you need to use at least 2 DPSs for the endgame stuff. Ideally you want like 3 or 4, but whatever, because erudition, destruction, all that. But Sparkle is, a damn near universally good unit. Like I said, there's really only a couple characters who she probably wouldn't work too well with, like Firefly, Xueyi, Sushang, but you wouldn't really want to use Xueyi and Sushang in 2024, but still, like I said, I would 100% recommend pulling for her. That being said, if you decided, from this video or, peer pressure or whatever, that you're gonna go for a Sparkle and you might not know how to build her, then of course, there's plenty of videos and guides going over how to build her. I'll just be giving my thoughts as someone who lucked out heavily, might be a little bit biased, S1, E2, but I have a very good, Sparkle build running. It could be a little better with the speed, but still, my Sparkle's in a weird state with the speed, let's just say that. But still, as someone who has gotten Sparkle running, and she's like nuts. I pair her up with Jinglu. Jinglu hits 2 times harder. I'm not even joking. Like she's insane. Like actually got tier. But better than Bronya, I would say. Apart from, of course, the action forward for Sparkle's skill is only 50% compared to Bronia's 100%. So if you use Bronia's skill, then you immediately, whoever used the skill on gets another turn, but for Sparkle it only goes up by 50%. But anyways, still, what you would want on Sparkle, of course you would want speed. Most units you want speed boots on. Bronya, speed boots, right? Himiko, Firefly, all that stuff, right? You want speed boots on them, so you definitely want quite a bit of speed on them. But what you really want on Sparkle would be crit damage, and even if that means you end up with a mixed set, as long as you still have it running, then honestly it's fine. I have a couple characters who have mixed sets. A mixed set is definitely not optimal for like a DPS, right? None of my DPS units have a mixed set apart from Jade, but she's not really a DPS, right? More of a sub DPS, who can still hit pretty hard, especially in Perfection. But honestly, it's fine, running a mixed set on Sparkle if it means you can get, damn near 300% crit damage on her, since she heavily scales off of crit damage for her buffs. She gives allies crit damage based off of her crit damage, so I don't think any 2-piece or 4-piece bonus can top this relic's crit damage and this relic's crit damage. Definitely I lucked out heavily with these. And what's funny is this would probably be Sparkle's best in slot ornament set, and coincidentally enough, the 2 ornament sets that I have on her are the highest that I have for crit damage, so I definitely got a little lucky there. But you want crit damage on Sparkle, right? The main stats don't really matter. She doesn't have any scaling based off of her attack or HP, right? You don't want quantum damage. None of that matters. All she really needs is okay. I leveled this up to level 6. I didn't know that this is her basic attack. I thought this was another talent. So you gotta cut me some slack, you know. But the rest of these I min-maxed on purpose, but you want crit damage on her, right? You know, it increases all the allies' damage by, you know, a certain percentage. This isn't based off of any of her stats, you know. This increases a single target's ally by 24% of Sparkle's crit damage, plus another 45% when you get it to level 10. So of course, so 24% of 300 would be 72, plus another 45%. Every time I use Sparkle's skill, another ally gets another 117% crit damage. That's like 2.5 relics worth of crit damage right there. Absolutely insane. And that's just from her skill alone, okay? That's of course the main, you know, pooba of her kit. You know, you want to use her skill, and then her, you know, it's whatever. But there's no attack scaling, there's no quantum damage scaling. You could pair her with quantum characters, right? She has some quantum type abilities here. You could, you know, maybe run a mono quantum team if that's what you had in mind, like Sparkle, Silver Wolf, Jade, and then Lynx or whatever, right? Something like that could maybe work. Maybe not Jade, like unless you're doing pure fiction, you know, you could do like Celia or whatever, or any other quantum DPS, right? But you don't need to have quantum characters to get that you don't need to have that passive running for her to be good. You know, she works perfectly fine without it. And really, this is the main thing, right? 300% crit damage is what I have on Sparkle. I'm not in combat right now, as you can see. I'm just in the regular Radiant Feldspar. She has a base amount of 300 crit damage, of course, with the relics that I have on her. So that plus another 45% would give an ally, you know, who I use a skill on, 117% crit damage, right? Just from her skill. And of course, it doesn't stack, but that is still crazy. And especially when you use it on someone like Jingliu. My Jingliu hits very, very hard. You know, she hits arguably harder than my Firefly in many cases, despite coming all the way back out in version 1.4. But Sparkle here is honestly a god tier unit. I would say that, you know, Bronia only has the 50%, or Bronia has a 100% action forward, and Sparkle only has it at 50%. But still, I don't think that that's really that big of an issue. You know, you could pair Sparkle with someone like Jingliu, who is skill point friendly, and then use Aventurine, and then always using his shield, having his shield up all the time by using his skill. And, you know, it's like very, you're not going to be running out of skill points ever. You know, you're always going to stay alive. You know, Jingliu would be taking down, you know, the allies' HP, but if you defeat the enemies fast enough and you always have your shield up, it doesn't even, you know, it's not even like an issue. You can maybe even sneak in like Jade or Red May, right? Sparkle is very universally good, and I would 100% recommend her. It's like if you presented me with like a Bronia banner. You get what I mean? It's like, why would you not go for her? She's honestly insane. Could she get power creep sometime down the road? Maybe, of course. You know, it's like this is a gacha game. You know, the characters get power crept all the damn time. You know, Sealy back in 1.0 was the best DPS in the game, and then now now she's just kind of a meme, you know. But still, honestly, Sparkle came out back in 2.0. She is still insane. I would honestly recommend her. Like I said, I might be a little biased because I have Eidolons, but I'm honestly considering going for E4 just because she's that good, and E4 is that much better, you know. E4 of course gives her 1 extra skill point, so instead of having a base amount of skill points of 7 with her, it would end up being 8, which is kind of nuts. But I mean, yeah, that's it, you know. I definitely yapped, you know, in this video, but that's my thoughts on Sparkle. Would I recommend her? Of course, 100%. But that's really about it. I'll see y'all.